So a couple months ago, my wife and I were at our favorite local watering hole, Old Dallas Brewery in Dallas, North Carolina, our hometown. And we're sitting there, we're having a couple drinks, and in walks this guy. You can't miss him. People call him Big Country, but he was in a sleeveless t-shirt. He's tatted up. He's a loud guy. He's full of energy. I noticed he was missing a leg, and he comes over and he's talking to us, and his shirt says "Motivating America." And I asked him about it, and he said that's his foundation. He travels the country trying to motivate people, and he tries to bring the best out of whoever he's talking to or dealing with. So we're sitting there talking, and I was like, man, we've got to get this on camera. He had an incredible story, super interesting, and today we're finally able to do that. So take a ride with me. We're gonna ride to ODB, Old Dallas Brewery. They were nice enough to let us do the interview there. I'm from Dallas. It's my hometown. Big Country's living in Dallas. The brewery's in Dallas, so we thought it's a trifecta of a Dallas collaboration. So ride with me over there, and let's talk to Big Country. Judging everything.
Hey, see, I can't hide emotions from my wife now. She's just like, "Are you pissed off?" I'm like,
"Yeah, what a predicament." Yeah, I didn't think about that.
She sees through you and you still.
"Yeah, buddy."
She just looks at you and says, "I know." Then you don't know what the hell she knows. Oh man. So tell everybody about yourself, kind of where you came from, and when you decided to join the military.
Well, for those of you who don't know me yet, my name's Brian Conwell. People call me Big Country, Sergeant Big Country. I got the nickname from basic training. So I had a drill sergeant that was coming up and was asking us, "Hey, do y'all want to learn anything extra?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he came up to me. Of course, I'm the biggest guy in the whole damn company, and he goes, "Well, I'm gonna knock you out. Is that okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, if you can try." Yeah, so there's a vein on the side of your neck that feeds your brain blood. He goes, "I'm gonna hit it. It's gonna cut it off for just a second." Well, instead of knocking me out, he busted a blood vessel in my eye, and went to the TMC. And the doctor in there apparently has never heard a true Southern drawl. My accent was a lot deeper than what it is now.
Yeah.
And as soon as he asked, he goes, "What do you think we're fixing to do here, son?" I was like, "I reckon we're going to read this eye chart." He's just, "Holy shit." Yeah. "Where you come from, you Big Country son of a..." Man, it's lasted since then, man.
Yeah. But, so you say the accent. So where are you from originally?
Greenville, South Carolina. I was born and raised right up there in Malden. My grandparents raised me all the way up till I was 13. Moved in with my dad for a couple years. Grew up Kevin Garnett.
Okay.
That's who I learned how to play basketball from. Got my ass whooped all the time, of course.
Yeah, good mentor.
Played football with Travell Wharton at Hillcrest. One of the Panthers' old linemen. I think he teaches down at USC now. And I moved up here to Belmont back in August of '98. Was dipped in to go to military, but my first wife wasn't so hot on it, so I kind of postponed it until July of 2006. Left to go to Fort Knox, Kentucky, basic training, Aberdeen Proving Grounds for my AIT generator mechanic. Came home, did a year of reserves, and January 1st, 2008, I headed off to Grafenwehr, Germany, and just started an amazing career, man, an epic journey of life to just see things that people just only wish they could see.
So how long were you in Germany?
I was in Germany 2 years. During that time, I did have a deployment to Iraq. I was with the 172nd Infantry Brigade. Awesome unit. We was part of Big Red 1, but they reflagged on my birthday, which was March the 17th. We reflagged to 172nd. We went to Iraq from November to November. Came back home and came back stateside.
Okay. All right. So, whenever you were over there, is that how the injury happened?
No, I didn't get hurt downrange. I lost my leg on Fort Riley. I was going to get my guys lunch. I was NCO. By then, I was running the GSE section while the rest of the guys were deployed. I was on rear D. And
now, whenever you say the NCO and that kind of, what do you
sergeant.
mean? So you were the sergeant?
Yeah.
Okay.
E5 sergeant. Of course, your staff sergeant, sergeant first classes were above me. But I was going to get the guys lunch and was going down Trooper Drive, which is downhill, 45 miles an hour, hit black ice during lunchtime. So a lot of people seen this, and they said I lost control of my vehicle. They could see where I was trying to get it back, and I ran off into a ravine. There was no guardrails there, so I technically went airborne.
Yeah.
Not the way I wanted to go airborne, but it was 2000 Ford Explorer. They said when I hit the tree and hit the ground, the floorboard came up, pinned my knees against the dash, and the engine just came forward and ate them up.
So how long were you in the hospital?
A year.
A year completely in the hospital?
A complete year.
So how many surgeries did that entail?
The amputation, and then I think there's been 3 and a 4th surgery coming up here in the next few months.
So you're still not done?
No.
Oh wow! So you're still working through it.
You know, some of these doctors, man, some of the civilian doctors have more ways of trying to fix things. Like I can't feel my right foot at all, except for the inside now. They did a cortisone shot at my ankle trying to reduce some of the inflammation. And apparently it's woken some things up. So we're hoping.
Yeah.
I get a lot of nerve jerks at night when I go to sleep. So if they can't help wake it up, then they're going to take this nerve and attach it to my calf so it doesn't hurt no more.
So the nerve jerk, is that a good sign that something's going on, or that's a bad sign?
No, that's a bad sign. Anytime
Okay.
you have injuries like this, especially with amputees or bad injuries like this, your nerves end up in a bundle, almost like diabetic nerve pain, but they end up into a bundle and they'll just fire.
Really?
And it feels like a knife going through your foot.
So how long did it take you to learn how to balance and walk and actually get mobile again?
You know, they started my medical retirement before I even got out of the hospital.
Really?
So by the time I got into therapy on Fort Sam Houston, unfortunately I ended up with a couple of bad eggs that were just like, oh, he's on his way out the door, so we're just gonna go upstairs and walk. Yeah, I'm on a walker, and the cool thing they had was a weightless treadmill.
Yeah.
So you put on these shorts and it's got a zipper around it, and the treadmill has this huge bag around it, and you step in the bag and you zip yourself in, and when you hit the go, it's like you're walking in space. Like you literally cannot feel the weight. You know, it's weightless. So that helped out. Plus, you know, I told myself that, you know, I motivated myself to get the hell up. You know, I still have, you know, I got 7 kids, you know, awesome wife, a bunch of friends, you know, a bunch of people that need my help from what I've seen over the last few years, and I just told myself to get the hell up. So a lot of me walking has been a lot of just me testing. So
yeah, just kind of gritting it out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So on your website, you talk about PTSD and dealing with that, and now you're helping other people deal with that. How did you realize, or did somebody just tell you that you had it, or did you realize that like something's different, something's wrong, and I need to get some type of help for it?
Well, that occurred after Germany. I was stationed in Fort Lee, Virginia, and about my 4th month at Fort Lee, apparently there was a really big change that quick. You know, PTSD symptoms can happen either really quick or happen, you know, longevity down the road. You know, it might not hit somebody just fast, but being in the military, I've always been outspoken, really nice, really charged. I'm really, really loud. And I'm really big, so it's kind of hard to miss me. But my motor sergeant and my squad leader at the time approached me and was like, hey, country, there's something wrong. Like, you're just pissed off all the time now. And he goes, PT, you still do great, but during the day, it's just like people are actually scared to come talk to you because you're angry. And I was like, I can't tell. And he's like, well, you need to go see the psychiatrist.
I couldn't see why anybody would be intimidated.
I don't either, man. Just saying. I mean, I'm missing a leg, but no. So I did. I went and seen the psychiatrist, and they put me through a 3-hour-long test. The test actually pissed me off. I got up like twice and walked out on it.
Was that the pass fail? If the test makes you mad?
Well, I mean, it's just the questions that they were asking, and after it came back, they said I had a very, very high rate of PTSD, which my rating on my PTSD is 70%, which is pretty high.
So how do they measure that?
That's psychiatrist stuff, man.
Yeah.
I don't.
But it's literally like a number score. They give you like a number.
Yes, it goes from 0 to 100.
Okay, so 100 being worst case
100's
scenario.
pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
70's not that great either, but
right.
I see a lot of people have 50%, 40%, 60%. I've never seen anybody have over 80, but the scale can't go that high.
That's interesting. So whenever you were going through this, was there a specific moment where were you in the hospital? Did you come back home? Did you thought, I'd like to do something more to help people, and how did you come up with the vision of Motivating America?
Well, I got back home in October 2015, and we sat around for a bit, just reminiscing, trying to get used to being back home and seeing friends and family like every day now instead of just a couple weeks out of a year. And we did some past endeavors. I had my own radio network there for a while, the Dangerous Grounds Network, and just started working with a lot of people. And a guy that I used to work with just approached me one day, and it was the beginning of 2018, right as I was getting ready to move back here from Greenville. And he goes, man, there's a lot of people that like to rant on social media. He goes, but you're the exact opposite. You don't rant.
So were you already putting stuff on social? Were you doing Motivating America before it was Motivating America?
Well, yes, but I didn't know it was Motivating America at that point.
Right.
I was always trying to be very positive in my videos. I wanted people to see the better side of themselves. I wanted them to see that if they wasn't happy with themselves, that them and only them had the power to change it. And, all this negative stuff that people talk about all the time that puts people in a really downward state, a really depressed state, or really just pisses them off, trying to get them to just ignore that.
So where did that come? Where did that mindset come from? Is that the way you just always been, or did
to a point? Yeah. Back in 2000, 2001, right here in Gastonia, me and my best friend in the whole world, Bo, had a car club called Dangerous Grounds. Hence where DGN came from. We were the biggest car club in Gastonia. We had 100 cars, 200 members. Everybody had the same sticker on the back of their car. We held skate-a-thons to help people out. We held car shows to help people out with cancer. Did stuff for the Boys and Girls Club. I always liked helping people, man. It honestly feels great to see somebody else smile, or take somebody from a depressed state of mind, or they just feel bad about themselves, and just to help them turn it around. Because there's so much more in life, man, to let life's negative moments kick you in the ass all day long.
Right.
Most people, a 5-minute negative moment will ruin their whole day. They'll pry on that all day long.
Sure,
What's the point?
I agree. Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
I mean, there's too much great stuff out here to do and be happy about, and if you're not, and it all starts with us. Everything that we do, positive, negative, or whatnot, starts with us. If you're not happy with yourself, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a lot of depressed, negative moments in your life. And us and only us can fix and change ourselves. Of course, everybody's got their opinions, but our opinion about ourselves is the only one that truly matters. And if you're happy with yourself, then your day goes a lot better. You know, you're happy. You know, you're joyful. Your state of mind is completely positive for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So if your boss is having a bad day and jerks your butt, or if your spouse is having a bad day and jerks your butt, you know, you deal with it, you learn from it, and you move on. And those type of moments can help somebody else. You know, speaking,
sure.
And that's what I like. That's why I like doing my speeches, man. Is I learned during group cognitive therapy in the military for my PTSD. I was listening to other people's ways that they help deal with their PTSD and it makes them feel better. And that was kind of the mindset as I was getting out. I was like, you know what? I really learned a lot from these other guys. I was like, I want to use that and transfer it back into the civilian world, because somebody might not know how to work on an issue, but if you had the same issues, like a drug addict parent like I've had, or a parent that, you know, hasn't really been around very much, or a sibling passing away, not being able to be here for the deaths of very, very close, loving family members. My grandpa was the only person that I was able to actually be here for their funeral. My grandmother, my mom, my aunts, you know, my uncles, I haven't been able to be here. So being able to take those experiences and the things that I did to help myself come out of a hole and be able to teach somebody else may help. Because honestly, truthfully, it just takes one act of kindness, and that motivation can carry somebody for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've seen it. We've seen people be on the verge of committing suicide, but because somebody stepped up and said, hey, how you doing? You doing all right? You look down today. You want to sit down and talk about it? It's completely changed their attitude. A buddy of mine done this not too long ago to a woman that was coming outside the grocery store, and she literally looked at him and said, sir, thank you for this, because now I'm not going to go home and kill myself. She goes, I was literally on my way home and I was going to slit my wrist, but since you came up to me and said, asked me how I was doing, and you're genuinely doing that, shows that somebody still cares about me, and I can move on with my life now. I mean, just that one simple thing can change somebody's entire life.
One thing I talk about in some other interviews and in the book is everybody has usually heard of the 6 degrees of separation.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, blah 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 blah. Right? But there's also 3 degrees of influence, and what that is you're going to have an influence on me through this conversation,
mm-hmm.
right? And hopefully through everybody watching. But then I'm going to go and have an interaction with somebody else. That's the second. And then that person, so in that person, you may never meet their family members or friends, but you're going to indirectly have influence over that person.
Mm-hmm.
So, and honestly though, you are an anomaly. Am I saying that right? Anomaly? An anomaly?
Not an anomaly. You're not an anomaly. I don't know.
So I can't ever say that. You're a very unique individual in the sense of, if anybody had reason to be pissed off at the world for a shitty, deal of cards, right, that you would, and people would be completely like, yeah, I get it, man. Yeah, I got it. No wonder he's mad. But you took it and completely flipped it into a positive. And not only have you flipped it to a positive and have got a great outlook on it, you're trying to spread that around to everybody else. And nobody can argue that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're telling them that, like, it's hard to argue that with you, like, circumstance-wise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's like I'm really proud of you for that, because
thank you.
That's a very tough thing to be able to do. So whenever you were going through this, when did you talked about crawling out of the hole? When did you really crawl out of the hole and it was just like, you know what? I'm sick of being pissed off. I'm tired of the bullshit. I've got to do something. When did that kind of that premonition happen?
September 2016. I was living in an apartment complex on the other side of Gastonia, and My family had backed off. My kids have backed off a little bit. All my friends have completely backed away because
They were just staying out of your way.
they still didn't understand how to deal with this new me. All the anger, still dealing with the loss of my leg, still not even 2 years old and stuff. And I had a moment. I went home. My service dog was sitting behind me. I reached into my end table, pulled out my gun, stuck it in my mouth, pulled the trigger. Nothing happened.
Holy shit, man.
There was a round in the chamber. I made sure of it, and nothing happened. And I looked up and told God, "Thank you." And my service dog, she jumped up on my bed, started licking me in the face, and that's where I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be mad anymore. Everybody has a story growing up to where they've had negative moments and stuff like this happen to them, where it be parents or losing friends or being beat up or bullied. I've had my last 2 marriages have ended in them cheating and stuff. Yes, I've had a very crappy. The Army was my dream job. I grew up with Kevin Garnett. I could play basketball really good. I had a scholarship at David Lipscomb University, but it was in my blood, literally in my blood, to be in the military because my family has served in every single conflict America's been in ever since the Revolutionary War, and that was tough. So I had to put a stop, and I was like, I am literally gonna die if I don't stop being so pissed off and negative, and change my outlook on life. And ever since I've done that, every morning is a great morning. Yes, there's still life happens. Life still tries to trip my ass up.
Sure.
And it's going to for the rest of my life.
Right
But
on.
I'm not going to let life's negative moments impact me like that anymore, ever again. And, it's easier to deal with things in that state of mind as well. And you're right. A lot of people will sit there and complain about, they're depressed, they need to get over it, they just need to shake it off, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And the people that are saying those are in the same boat too, usually. They can't shake stuff off. And exactly just like you said, it is hard to argue with me about that because I choose not to let life beat me up like that. Life's not going to bully me anymore. And I want to show my kids and other people's kids and other adults that you can change and turn with just a switch. Be dedicated to it. It's a lifestyle. It is. It's truly a lifestyle. Meditation and self-healing. Wanting to eat better, wanting to work out, wanting to do things that makes your body feel better, so you're happy with yourself. And when you're happy with yourself, you can go out there and literally change somebody's life. It doesn't even take much. You don't have to travel up and down the country like I do.
Sure.
That's one of the big things that I talk about is community togetherness. And, just like what Old Dallas Brewery's doing on October 27th with One Fall Day, just big family fest. Kids, people from all over the towns, different companies and organizations setting up, just being there, being happy.
Yeah.
If our neighborhoods and our communities could come back together like that, and that's one of the big things. Like whenever I go to Carolina Uprising in October, this is going to be one of the things that I talk about is we're so scared to get to know people again. Back when we were growing up, Grandma would be making a pie for somebody 5 streets down the road.
Yeah.
You could go outside and play in the neighborhood as long as you was back before the street lights. You were okay. But then again, Grandma could step out the back door, holler your name, and it's like it echoes through the neighbors.
Yeah.
They know that you're looking for you.
Yeah, interpersonal communication is becoming a lost skill because everybody's texting.
I've always said this, even though I use a smartphone all the time. Everybody uses smartphones nowadays, but that is the worst invention they could have ever came up with. Our kids have, and I talked about this on social media the other day. I was like, why post negative stuff? Especially the negative stuff that you can't fix. Why would you post something of a 15, 16, 17-year-old boy or girl cussing their parents out, their grandparents, belittling them? Why would you repost something like that for another child to see? Well, they got away with it, I can get away with it. If we didn't have so much social media and our children had access to it, honestly think we'd be a lot different right now.
Yeah.
We didn't have that stuff growing up. Our phones were on the wall with a 20-foot cord.
Yeah.
You know, we computers were just barely getting into society.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you left to go on a trip, you didn't have GPS. You had a map, and if you wanted to talk to somebody, you had to stop on the side of the road and use a payphone.
How old are you?
I'll be 40 in March.
Okay, yeah, we're right around the same age. So yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember writing directions down that my grandpa gave me, and having to I just keep rereading it because
Sure
I think I'd have missed the road.
Sure, man. It's just, you know.
So when did you realize? So whenever all this stuff started spinning around in your head, and you had that moment in September, and then you started looking around, and when did it dawn on you that you wanted to do something more? You wanted to start influencing everybody else around you and make it bigger than just your inner circle, and start motivating America?
Because of the feedback that I was getting with the videos I was doing, I held a big concert in Greenville with a band called Madison Rising. Rolling Stones named them the most patriotic band in the U.S. about 4 years ago, something like that. And just my videos, man, they were just always positive. You know, was always trying to get people to stop thinking negatively and start thinking positively. And to want to better themselves and wants to better the people around them. And the feedback that I was getting was just unreal. You know, like I said, at this time you had a lot of ranters on social media that would just rant and bitch and complain about everything.
Yeah.
And they're still doing it.
Yeah.
You know, there's one guy that's not on no more. I think it's Graham Allen. You know, it's Rant Nation.
Yeah, Rant Nation.
You know, yeah, they got a lot of people. A lot of people like to feed into that, but a lot of people like to feed into the positive things too.
Sure.
So a guy that I used to work with is like, you know, country man, you're really onto something. He goes, I see all these comments and stuff that people give you, and people are just, they love being around you because you're not pissed off. I was like, what's the point of being pissed off? You know, and he goes, what's the one thing that you want to do? And I was like, I just want to keep people motivated. I want to keep people motivated about life, their life, other people's life, things that they can fix within their side, themselves, their communities, the people around them. And he goes, well, how many people do you want to do this for? And I was like, I want to do it for America. I was like, there you go.
There it is.
Motivating America.
So when was that?
That was January of 2018.
So, okay. So almost 2 years ago.
Yep. We I don't work with a guy anymore, but it was a marketing company that was helping me get some stuff up. They actually work with a lot of people all around the world. It's a really big marketing company. It was up in New York City, and we started coming up with a scheme plan, what the logo was going to look like. You know, talking about the website. You know, we was talking about all this stuff, and it was about April time frame that we really came out with the logo and really started hammering stuff. Finally came out with some shirts, and that was my big thing on how I got it started. There was 2 ways. One was a little 6-inch by 1-inch sticker. I had 1,000 of them printed out, and everywhere I went, I kept a pocket full. I stick them on inside bathroom walls, trash cans, you know, just columns on buildings and stuff, so that way people would start noticing that name.
Yeah.
And then my t-shirts, I don't give as many as away anymore, but first 200 I had, I would just randomly go up to people that looked like they were having a bad day, go up to them, shake their hand, hey, how you doing? You know, my name's Big Country. It's like, you look a little down, I just want to come up, shake your hand, make sure you're okay, and have a conversation with them, see that big eye smile, turn around, hand them a t-shirt, tell them to have a great day. And it just grew from there, man. And it continues to grow that way. You know, I still stop and talk to people like that. You know, it's I don't want anybody taking their own lives. I don't want anybody dying by suicide.
Sure.
You know, nobody should have to go through that pain alone. And I'm willing to go through that pain with them and help pull them out, man. And that's just, you know, and now that we're into speaking all over the country, as telling you earlier, the Carolina Uprising is probably going to end up either being the biggest or the second biggest motivational speech that I've done, because the Blue Wahoos, there was like, what, 3,000 or 4,000 people at that semi-pro baseball game in Florida. You know, this is a big concert, man. It's 2 days and 3 stages, so we're expecting thousands and thousands of people. I mean, when you got people like Jeff Hardy and stuff that are coming out, I mean, that's going to draw a crowd.
Sure.
So, you know, we keep talking about what's important, man, and what we can fix and where we can help within ourselves and the people around us. And we can't fix everybody. We can't save everybody. But I'll be damned if I'm not going to help and save some people.
I can dig it. Yeah. Good for you. So what was the reaction of everybody whenever, as far as family and friends that were close to you, whenever you said, hey, look, I got this thing I'm going to try to do. What do y'all think? Did they feel like it was just a natural progression? Like, we figured you were going to do something like that at some point. Or were they kind of like, what's he thinking?
Well, you know, I've tried a couple of different things since I've been out, you know, and my best friend, my brother Bo, he's always supported me. You know, I was already doing this before I met my current wife, and whenever we got together, she's been a very, very huge, big supporter. You know, my kids support me. My son, actually about 70% of me going out of town, he's normally right there with me. Yeah, I have a lot of support from a lot of people, man. People like seeing positive stuff. They like that positive aura, if I said that right.
I think it's it's definitely refreshing, and I think it's definitely a draw. I think people get tired of all the negativity and all the drama in the news and all the bullshit with the political climate the way it is. So when you find somebody like yourself that's preaching positivity, it's hard not to be drawn to it, because and honestly, so like our brains aren't wired for negativity all the time.
Right.
So whenever you get somebody that's real cynical, it's just like, woe is me, and they're always just negative. Their brain literally biologically gets rewired. That becomes the only way they know how to communicate.
Right.
But the thing is, you can revert that through positivity and through messages like yours. And so what is the next step for Motivating America?
Well, we start November. We're going to be sponsoring a youth basketball team here in Dallas.
Okay.
Spring, we're going to be sponsoring Bo's baseball team here in Dallas, and a softball team. We're getting into more of the youth work now. I've had meetings with the CEO and the manager of the Gastonia Boys and Girls Club, which runs the club here in Dallas as well, and the teen center. We're going to start going out there and talking with those kids and doing activities with them and stuff like that. We're going to start trying to hammer on some of the youth now, because it's a sad thing to say. Thank God for the Boys and Girls Club. But there's a lot of kids there that get dropped off by their parents because they want to go do stuff that they don't want their kids to see.
Sure.
You know, and who knows what that child goes through at the home. I've been there. I've had that parent that wants to leave somebody who's in the 3rd grade to take care of a 1-year-old for 3 days while they go out and do that. I've been there.
Sure.
You know, I've been in those negative moments to where, you know, a kid just needs a grown-up to look up to, or something to inspire them to put that spark back in them, and maybe even go home and change the parents' life. Say, hey, look, you're doing something. It makes me sad. It hurts me. We don't have the relationship that we had anymore because you'd rather do this than be with me. So we're gonna start working with our youth a lot more. We're already working on shows for next year, or touring schedule, whatever you want to call it. We'll be back in Silsbee, Texas on the 28th and 29th of February for a big music festival. We're going to be in Birmingham, Alabama for another music festival somewhere around July. Patriot Network Summit we're going to be back at. The Patriot Picnic we'll be back at. You know, our touring schedule, we can't always get out long, but, you know,
Sure.
Something happens every month.
Right.
You know, somebody call you up a couple weeks beforehand. Hey, can you come out here? Yeah, sure. You know.
So if somebody watching this right now, if they wanted to get in touch with you for an event, where could they do that at?
The best and fastest way to get a hold of me is to go to the Motivating America page on Facebook or Instagram. But we'll start off Facebook first. Facebook, Motivating America. Send me a message. I'll get it instantly with my phone. If you go to our website, motivatingamerica.com, there's an Instagram link in there where you can send me a message through Instagram too. Or if you just go to Instagram, it's SGT Big Country, Sergeant Big Country. And you can send me a message through there. I'll get it. We can sit down, talk about what kind of events you got, where it's at, and whatnot. We can go through the processes and procedures that it takes to get us out there.
Cool.
If it's pretty far away, normally, man, I would really ask them, help us out with a little bit of fuel.
Sure.
If you want us there overnight, maybe hook us up with a room. If it's really far away, like Split Finger Promotions, we helped a Army veteran and ex-police officer with stage 4 cell cancer. We went out there and helped raise $2,000 for them.
Very cool.
But they got us a room, they paid for our flights, man, and the energy that we was able to bring to that room, man, was just amazing.
So for somebody like me that maybe I don't put on events, but I still wanted to help, how could I do that?
Just contact me on social medias, man. It's really the fastest way to get a hold of me.
Can I donate if I wanted to give some funds to the cause? Is there somewhere on there that I can do that?
Yes, you can go to motivatingamerica.com. There's a little donate tab in there. You can donate that way. Or if you just want to get in touch with me, if you have the Cash App, which is normally a really quick way to help people. It's how I help out a lot of people if they need help. That's a way that you can donate and stuff like that too.
Okay, very cool. Well, if you scroll down, there'll be links to everything in the description box. And I'm going to leave Big Country alone and let it get back to Motivating America. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
No, that was good.